Alright gang, welcome back to our vanilla survival here in Osweiler. It is May, and we are still in the process here of picking up all of the grass from the last episode that we mowed up our vetch rye. Things are good, man. Things are good. We're cruising along here. It was a little bit difficult to figure out exactly what we should be doing with this crop because I really had never done anything with it before, so I didn't really know. But yeah, it turns out that this is a crop that you would mow typically, or a forage harvest, one of the two. So for us, we just decided to go the mowing path, and that's what we're kind of, topping up now, is picking up all of the, well, I guess they're calling it grass, off the ground. For us, we're also going to be trying to bale this and wrap this, which obviously you just saw a bale pop out, so we're in the process of doing that right now. And then it's just going to be a matter of us getting some kind of a bale wrapper, and that's not going to be cheap, but what we're planning to probably do at that point, more than likely, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. We talked about this in the last episode, right? The mustard. We believe that's a cover crop. A lot of you have mentioned that, and I think you're correct on that. I'm a little concerned, though, to sell any of this stuff, just in case for some reason I need to mow it or whatever. So I just don't think it would be the smartest play in my book for me to sell this until that mustard is ready to go. It looks like the mustard is going to be ready next month. So we can see, right? We can figure it out then. Is this something that we need to mow? Is it something we just, re-drill a crop in the ground with, or what? I guess we'll figure that out when that time comes, I suppose. But I guess in short, what I'm trying to get at is, as much as I would love to sell this and get some of this money back, because that was really our intention here, I'm not quite sure if we're going to be able to do it until that mustard's ready. So, what does that mean? Well, really what it means is the $79,000 we have right now is about to become a lot less, because we're going to have to buy a wrapper with that money. Now, it's not going to be a problem. We should easily be able to do so. The problem is going to become, how are we going to get these bales up off the ground? Now, granted, right now, as much as I would like to put something back in the ground here, but right now, we can just kind of leave these bales in the field itself. It's not a big deal right now. But eventually, we will have to get them off the ground here, right? Eventually, we will. So, anyway, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are good, man. Things are good. I've been talking a little bit about what the next series is going to entail. I asked my members specifically for some of their thoughts on what they would like to see of some of the things that I've already kind of talked about with them, as I've mentioned many times in the past. They do get an extra episode once a month, which normally what we do in that is kind of go through different ideas I have. And so of those ideas that I've had, I have now asked them, which one they like. So we've got a poll going for them to kind of figure that out. It appears that there are two that have been pretty heavily picked between right now. They're both, right now they're even, so we're waiting for somebody to kind of take the lead there. But yeah, we're kind of sorting out what's going to replace, well, this and what's going to replace the Kinleg series. Both of these series are actually a lot closer to being done than you might think, so we're just trying to plan ahead a little bit here and get that set and ready to go for us. I think the two that they are choosing between, I think they have a lot of promise to them. I love the ideas of both of them. One of them, I will say, without really spoiling anything, is a Season 2 of something we've done in the past. The other one is a completely brand new type of series. Never been done. At least not from me. We've also been talking a little bit with the guys about, what's going to replace eventually, which is, it's not anytime soon, but, probably late spring, early summer, I would assume that series will probably end, or be near it. Real time, not actual in-game time, real time. So, end of spring, early summer, maybe June, I don't know. I'm not positive. It could be longer than that, but I'm just guessing. Based off of what we're kind of agreeing on is the end goal for that. That's probably when it's going to end. And what we would do with them after this. And I think we're going to make a bit of a shift and do a more traditional competitive multiplayer where, we start with the same equipment, you know, 5, 6, whatever it is, whatever it ends up being. We start with 5, 6 pieces of equipment, whatever it is, and then the exact same acreage of land on a map, and then we just we go from there, right? You full reins to do whatever you want. Just figure out a way to win. No loans, of course. Otherwise, you know, you can lease things if you want to lease things. You can do whatever you want. So I think that would be a fun one to do. I've never done one of those, and I think that sounds like a good time with those two. Just got to make sure we find the right map that has plenty of fields, right? And, yeah, go from there. Certainly cannot be a map where it only has a couple of fields on it, right? It has to be kind of a map that has lots of fields. Most of them relatively in the small to medium size, I think, makes a lot of sense. Couple big ones, sure. Now, really, I probably should have got a windrower or something for this field, but it just didn't seem like the smartest investment. So I didn't. So we're going about this a little bit more. We're taking a little bit longer to do this than you probably normally would want, I guess is how I'll put it. Now, so far, we don't have a whole lot of bales, right? So it's a little less promising than I had anticipated, but, you know, the whole point of this series was to keep it vanilla, so we are utilizing vanilla equipment, plus the DLCs, of course. That's the twist there, really. And, try out some new stuff on this map, right? So this map has a lot of, you know, different, you know, crops that aren't base standard type of crops, right? So what we did here is one of those. The mustard, again, another one of those. Now the spelt, we haven't done on this series, but we have done it on another series. At least I think we have. So that's what that one is up on the big field over here on the right, the big hilly field. So we did harvest that right off the bat, though. That was one of the first things we did harvest. So we have already had our involvement with spelt. We do know spelt is an actual harvesting crop, not a mowing crop like this. Although I guess you could argue mowing is still a harvest as well, but you get what I mean. Now, recently, I was uploading the previous episode of this one, and if you're subscribed to the channel and not a member, you won't have any idea what I'm talking about. But you know, as I mentioned, they do get early access to videos, right? If you're a member, you get early access to any time I've got a video ready and I upload it, regardless if I have the thumbnail ready or not. They get access to watch it if they want to. I uploaded the previous episode of this series utilizing a song from YouTube's creator studio that is supposed to be always free, which means, you know, there's no like copyright strikes or anything that'll occur if I use the music in a, you know, in a video or whatever. And then all of a sudden, it has now given me a copyright strike. So it was a bit of a mess. It was only up for a brief few minutes, but I do know a couple of people started to watch it at least. So I kind of explained it a bit in the last Kinleg episode. Because that would have been the, well, okay, so this one should be coming out on a Friday, and yesterday would have been the One Tile Challenge, which we recorded a while ago. So the last actual episode that I recorded recently was the Kinleg series, which would have been out on Wednesday. So I kind of briefly mentioned it there, but I'm going to bring it up here again, just in case, you know, somebody doesn't watch that series. But yeah, really weird that all of a sudden, just randomly, they decided, you know what? This is supposed to be free forever. It was like a free forever thing because you can, like, you know, filter out, you know, songs that you have to pay money to or at least share revenue with. You know, I have a few of them that I share revenue with because I like that specific song and I think it makes sense in certain circumstances. But most of the time I try to make sure I'm selecting songs where I don't have to share revenue. I don't make that much money off of YouTube anyway, so I don't really want to take half of that money and give it to somebody else, right? But that song, it was supposed to be free forever, and then all of a sudden we just wake up and, well, surprise, it's no longer free. Now, I have used that song in the past on other videos, and it hasn't given me a copyright strike on those, so it must just be that you know, moving forward, maybe they're saying you could no longer use it for free. I don't know, but whatever. I guess I'm not really exactly sure how all that logistics work, but it was just a little weird that happened. But anyway, that long story short, that's the reason why you saw a video and then all of a sudden it was removed a few minutes later. I guess maybe what I should start considering doing, instead of uploading it and just letting it do its thing, and then, you know, whenever it's ready, regardless if it's done processing or not, it lets you watch it. Maybe I should just put it on private until it has finished processing to know if I've got a copyright strike or not, so I don't have that issue again. But it's not really something I expected to ever be an issue when it was supposed to be free forever. Anyway. We're actually, we're moving along nicely. There's still a lot to go, but we're moving along nicely here. We've actually done a pretty good job, I think. There's not a ton left to do here. Now, really what I could do with this mower here, and maybe we will, because we don't have a ton to do today. We can do some more contracts potentially, but I probably can go around maybe the outside edge here of this field and kind of mow up all of that and try to bale some of that up, right? I probably can do that. Gives us a few extra bales potentially, maybe. Although maybe it's not really worth our time if we can't get a bale out of it, right? I would assume that we could at least get one bale, though. At a bare minimum, if we're close to getting another bale, I might as well mow a little bit of that up so I can at least get that bale, right? There's a little bit there in that corner that I missed. I better hit that because I'm going to forget about that if I don't. What else? I've talked about, you know, some upcoming series potentially, and we're trying to sort out, you know, what's going to replace this one and the Kin Lake series. Talked about that. I talked about what eventually we're thinking, at least we're planning to do once the One Tile Challenge comes to an end, obviously many months down the road. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I have much else to bring up. I don't think I have anything else. So this is the last little strip here, and then we'll just need to go up to the shop and buy a wrapper. As a matter of fact, we can do that right now. Let me just get this rest strip done. We'll look at the shop real quick and buy one, and then we can go pick it up, and we can get these bales all wrapped up. Like I said, we might potentially have to mow a little bit more. Well, as a matter of fact, I think we're going to, because I think there's nothing else here for us to do. I don't think. So I'm going to drop this down. And we're going to get to mowing. And we're just going to try to pick up whatever we can and get another bale. And there might be a little bit of wasted grass here, and that's fine. If we do waste some grass, that's fine. Let's just see if we can get another bale out of this by just going around the outside edge here. Yep, we got another one. I'm not sure if we're going to get another one, though, but we got one. All right, let's turn that off for right now. Stop rolling. Thank you. We might actually be able to go all the way around and get one more, but I've already killed enough crop. I really don't want to go any further around those fields, just because of the nervousness of you know, doing that. Okay, so wrapper. So 27,000 is what we're looking at here for this one. Okay, the square bales, but we're doing round bales, so we don't really need anything bigger than this. Wrapper design with bale on end turner. Picking up the bales is going to be a problem. I'm not sure how we're going to do that yet either. Like, I'm going to have to pick up a bale loader, I think, or transport, whatever you want to call it. So these aren't cheap, 50 grand, right? So, yeah. You know, as much as I love wide tires, I don't think it's really worth my time to spend that money on this when we're not going to keep it for very long. What do we want? Let's go black. Let's go black. All right, so we've got some wrap. It's probably going to be a bit of money wasted there too, unfortunately, but it is what it is. What are we going to do? All right, at least it was 51,000. That's not a bad amount of money. So I'm going to head up to the shop. I'm going to pick that up, and we're going to come over here, and we're going to get all of these bales wrapped. I'm going to push this back a little bit further here. There we go. I'm going to leave that there for right now. Like I said, maybe we'll get another bale. Maybe we'll go around and do one more bale if we mow some more, potentially. But I think it's probably going to be very... probably not. Probably not. All right, I forced ourselves to get a few more bales out of it, and we've got another one rolling down the hill here. Hopefully it keeps on going, but yeah, we weren't able to get another one. I was hoping to get another one. Didn't exactly happen there. We've got 77% in here. Maybe there's a slim chance if we go around in the yard area, maybe we can get another one. You know what? Let's try it. I mean, we might as well. We're so close. Whoop. We're so close. I don't see any way that we wouldn't be able to get one here in the yard. There's quite a bit of grass in here. Probably get a couple out of this, as a matter of fact. And maybe we will later on. All right, 95%. We'll easily get another bale in here. There we go. Alright, so let's back this stuff up into a parking spot for the time being. As I mentioned, I'm not really planning to get rid of this. At least for a little while, until we're sure we don't need it. And then I'm just going to put the mower over here, I think. Now, one thing we can do, now that we have a baler, And we're going to be dealing with bales. We can get rid of that forage wagon, that forage wagon there. We don't really need that anymore. We could just bale up the straw or whatever. Because we're going to be dealing with that, right? I might get a front loader on this. That might be the easiest way to do this, and then have to get a flatbed. I must be thinking about flatbread for lunch or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that'll give us a little bit of money back, right? You know what? It's going to be easier for me to come all the way up here to the very end and turn around. I know this isn't the most ideal, but you know, we're trying not to kill any more crop if at all possible. We've killed enough in this series so far. Because I can get a lot closer to the edge over here on this side, since it's to the right anyway, right? So I ended up getting 4 more bales out of that. I'm sorry, 4 more bales out of that. The one in the yard too, 4 more bales. So not bad, right? That's a pretty significant increase because we only had 6. So that's a huge addition. I'm gonna put it over here. All right, let's grab the one in here, and then we'll get the other one that was kind of, you know, rolling its way down the hill on the other side over there. Now, there is some grass here in front of the whoa, nope. There is some grass here in front of the yard that we could pick up. I'm just going to leave it there for right now. I need to realign this again here. Here we go. This is going to be better. Well, maybe not. Can I drive in there, please? Thank you. Chickens are doing well, by the way. I did check on those. I didn't do it on camera, but I did check on them. They're doing fine. No issues there with the chickens, so... Well, I forgot to turn off the auto unload. Whoops. Well, I guess it's there. It could be worse. At least it's not in the way, really. Not really, at least. Alright, it ended up rolling into the neighbor's field here. That's alright. We'll be able to snag this up and head on back. Alright, that's done. So we've got a lot of bale wrap in here, as you can clearly see. I wonder... I mean, we're cruising along pretty well here in OBS, but I wonder if there's a bale wrapping contract. There is. We're going to do this one, because we have this wrap anyway. We might as well use it. We're going to have plenty of wrap, even if we have to mow the mustard, right, and bale it. Even if we have to do that, we honestly have plenty of wrap here. There's more than enough. So I say we do that contract. It's a couple extra $1,000. We'll take it. There's quite a lot out here, as a matter of fact. Spraying as well. You saw me get out when I went of the tractor when I went to pick up the wrapper there, and we actually have more herbicide than I actually thought we did. So spraying contracts are back on the table again, I think, for the time being. Alright, I'm going to drive this little track road here. We haven't done this. We haven't gone anywhere at all over in this region, so we're just going to kind of go till it dead ends and then hang a left, and then at the fork we'll hang another left. Or I guess we could just keep going straight until that dead ends and then hang a left. Let's do that. So we'll kind of explore a little bit more of this area and see some more of the map here. We've been kind of mostly secluded to our little area there and in the town and some of the fields on the other side of the town. We really haven't gone over here at all. So this is a very hilly, very large fields over here in this section. Better turn the beacons on. We're going to be going out on the main road now. A little bit flatter up here on top, though. Still has some hills, but a little bit flatter. That is the field that we did in the last episode, that we did the, Whoa! Whoa! Byron. That was my fault, but we're going to blame Byron anyway. Yeah, that's the field we did in the last episode with the weeder, right? Though I really do like this map. The fields are quite large, but I do like it. It's been fun. It's been a fun one. It was a good selection. Yeah, so that's the fork in the road. We would have hung a left there, excuse me, to get to this grass field. This grass field, I think, is over here behind. What is that? A BGA over there? I don't even know what that is. It kind of looks like a BGA plant over there. Byron the Terrible, back at it again. We won't tell him it's our fault this time, huh? We won't tell him it's our fault. That guy. All right, here we go. All right, quite a lot of bales here, but this is not too bad. There's not that many. It was like 8, 9 of them. I don't know, not that many. Okay, evidently we weren't fully unloaded yet. My bad. My bad, yo. There might be some more back there, actually. It kind of wraps around here a little bit. Yeah, it wraps around. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you can see everything from here. I don't know. I'll turn the beacons off. Don't need those on anymore. I do like wrapping. It's you know, it's kind of a mindless job, but I really do like it. I like the way that the operation goes with the wrapping and everything. I just think it's cool. It's such a pretty cool machine, this wrapper. The technology that went into kind of making something like this, immense, right? Immense. Now, in the olden days, they wouldn't even, they would basically use like the silage pole that we're utilizing in our competitive one-tile challenge. That's how they would do silage in the old days. They would basically stack grass on top of itself on a pole like that. The top layer, obviously, you're not getting a whole lot, but that top layer, imagine it to be like kind of like a crust, if you will, for everything else underneath it. So everything else underneath it is turning into silage. Which I think was equally unique that somebody figured that out, right? Like, who would have thought to do that? I guess maybe in the olden days, right? Before you even had that as an option, you know, you would stack grass on top of each other, and eventually you figured out that it was turning into silage, I guess. I don't know how else you would figure it out. How they did things back in the old days, it fascinates me. Fascinates me. And this bale, and then one more bale. Still, as you can see, plenty of wrap. Plenty of wrap. So, the nice thing about having this equipment that we do have now, though, and not specifically selling it, yet, at least, is that if there are some contracts to do, like this one, we can do so, right? Which will make us a little bit more money, which is, it's a good thing, right? Contract done. All right, we can fold that up. We can turn this in. Is there another one? No. All right, that puts us back up to $53,437. And as a matter of fact, gang, for us, we're going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button on the case you've yet to do so. They are free to do. They help me out an absolute ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, ideas, let me know down below. I'm happy to get back to you on those. Thank you to my members. I cannot thank them enough for their continued support. It does mean the world. There is a link down below if you're interested in that. You do get early access to videos like this one, including the competitive one-tile challenge. My second channel's down there. My Discord's down there. Everything down below as always. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And we'll see you next time.